Alright, disclaimer before this video starts. I just want to say that the early parts of this video are going to be old Deceit gameplay or old Deceit VODs that I've had on my YouTube channel for a while. And the later parts of this gameplay are going to be new Deceit gameplay that I just have from my stream that I recently did. And another disclaimer, I think I made a bunch of valid points in this rant, but you gotta really listen for it because I said and shit like that a lot. I mean, I just like to get things off the top of my head as they're flowing, you know, like I don't want to write a script for this shit. And you know, there was a couple points where I did get triggered, and that's what you're supposed to do in a rant, and I feel like that shit goes away if I write shit down or if I plan shit out. So, it's just the way I like to do this type of shit. I like to get the thoughts off my head in the heat of the moment, and I just think it works best. So, pay attention, pay close attention, try not to doze off, and just get my points, hopefully. That's it. Alright, this is like take 4. A lot of interruptions happened, and I went and did shit for a while, but yeah, a lot of interruptions and a lot of, just messages and just shit that was ruining the audio of what I'm trying to record here. But basically, I want to talk about old Deceit versus new Deceit, and I've been a Deceit player since like 2018, or maybe since the game came out, I don't know. I played it a lot in 2018 when I got a new computer, and I was working my night shift job, and then I'd come home from it and play Deceit until I went to sleep. And I was like 18 years old at the time, 2018. There was this bomb-ass community that I was a part of, a bunch of cool and funny-ass people, and yeah, Deceit was just the way to go. And I played a lot of Deceit back in that time period. I was able to reach diamond rank in the ranked queue mode, in the ranked mode. I even think I hit the leaderboards at some point. You know, I played the game a lot. And yes, I think I hit the leaderboards. I think I was diamond rank. I think, like, yeah, so I just remember it. I remember everything about the game and how I used to play it and how it was played back then. And just, over the years I've played it, I've been on and off with it, but I took a long hiatus, and I've just recently started to play the game again. And a lot has changed that I remember. The game, for a certain period of time, I was playing, I'm like, this ain't even the same game I used to play. But now that I understand all the changes and I get how the game is played now, it still is Deceit, but so much, it's so different. Even some of the terror's abilities have changed. So, like, it's close to the same game, but it's not played in the same way at all. And I think what I wanna cover in this video, my problem I think is, I think the game is less enjoyable now. I think it is less fun. Now, with that being said, I do think the game is more true to its name now. With how the game is played, it involves a lot more deceit, a lot more deceiving, a lot more lying. The meta has shifted, whereas the game used to be about fucking just wondering who had antidote on the first round, and if you're infected and you knew who had antidote, you'd kill them. Or if you had antidote yourself, what you do as infected, as a high tier player, every round one, you and your teammate would drink full near the end of the round and kill 2 people to force a 2v2 into the second round. When with how voting off used to work, like, you wouldn't be able to get voted off on round 2 if you did that. So you could force a 2v2 and basically win the game just based off how you played the first round every time. Just killing whoever has the antidote, or having the antidote yourself. That was the only thing that mattered back then. And the game has shifted from that boring-ass, lame-ass meta that wasn't even about deceit or lying to a game that is about deceit or lying, and to where getting 2 people killed on round 1 is very hard. And even if you do manage to do that as infected, the innocents can still vote you out going into round 2. And I think, and yeah, the game is just completely changed. And with that being said, that is the first good thing that I think the game changed. That's one of the good things. That's one of the pros. So this video is just going to be talking about the pros versus cons of all the changes, and mostly for myself, I think the game is less fun now. So I think the cons outweigh the pros in a way, but I think there some core changes that happened are very good for the game. But you could take some of the old game and bring it back to the new game, and then it just merge together and be a way better version, in my opinion. This is all my opinion, though. So without farther ado, let's just get into either the pros or the cons first. And I think I'm gonna do the pros first. Yeah, what I like about the game that has changed, I like how the voting system works. It's no longer round dependent. How the game used to work is on round 1, it'd take 4 votes to vote someone out. On round 2, it'd take 3 votes to vote someone out. On round 3, it'd take 2 votes to vote someone out. Now it is no longer round dependent. If you kill a person or 2 people, or if you vote out a person or 2 people, it then shifts from only 4. It then shifts from 4 votes to vote someone out to 3 votes, and so on. If you kill 2 people, then it shifts from 3 people to vote or 4 people to vote to 2 people to vote someone out. So yeah, I like how the voting system changed. If you do somehow get forced into a 2v2 scenario, whether it's on round 2 or round 3 of the game, now if you're innocent, you actually still have a chance to fight the infected. You can vote them both out if you're a good shot or whatever. And I feel like that is a great change. I feel like the voting system being changed was a very good change. The shared blood bag, I think, is cool. I think, how the game used to work going into round 2, even if you get both the infected down because of how the voting system was, like, you could vote someone twice, but that wasn't enough to actually vote them out on round 2. And now it is. So like the blood bag thing is, it's like, just basically back in the day, getting forced into that 2v2 every time on round 2 was just lame. It just kind of sucked. Now you don't have to worry about that because of the blood bag change. How the infected share blood bags, and even if you drink like 3 blood bags as a team, you still have to go drink a shit ton more to be able to unlock 2 executes on round 1. And since the voting system got changed, I don't think this was a necessary change. I don't think it was that necessary. As long as the voting system was fine, but I will say for the most part, I'm not against it. I kind of like the blood bag change. I like not having to deal with 2 executes on round 1 every time. So, even though I don't feel like it's entirely necessary, I think more people will have a better time with that change. And it was a more positive change, so that I do agree with. So I have no problem with the shared blood bag shit. Let's see. What else? Yeah, they removed the second antidote on round 2, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%. I'm pretty sure, though, that they did. I haven't played enough, and I haven't seen another antidote, so I'm assuming that they did remove it. And I don't know if an antidote spawns on round 3 at all. But, yeah, no, with less executions, thus less antidotes need to be in the game, which is why it almost seems like a pointless trade-off that didn't need to happen. You could have just kept the more executions and more antidotes, but I guess there's no real problem with getting rid of them. But it did lead for more fun tactics to have a lot of antidotes, but I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. but as far as that goes, just the just the voting system and the blood bag change and executes and swipes and whatnot. I don't really think I have much else good to say. Like, that is cool, but that's the only good stuff, and that changes like the core of how the game was played. But I don't think I don't think it's the. But there are more than just the core gameplay. It's also like a lot of the mechanics that were changed. And I think that's where I kind of fall off how Deceit is nowadays. I feel like it's less fun to play as an innocent in particular, but maybe even as infected as well. Okay, so let me stop being around the bush. Um, the camera changes. Like, you have less ammo in the you have less ammo in the camera. You have less ammo in the traps. I don't like how the new torch is. The old torch is cooler in my opinion. The thing is, the new torch is you're able to defend yourself with that though. The old torch, it was just like a support weapon. It was a support item, but I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing, but it did suck if you couldn't get any other weapon to defend yourself with in round 1 specifically. But, you know, it's not like it was really necessary. The innocent gameplay is more team-based. So, I thought the torch was cool. You know, you flash most of the infected with it, and then you just hold them under that spotlight, and they can't move or can't do anything. I thought that was really cool. But now that the torch acts differently, it's more of its own self-defense weapon. And I don't really like that. It runs out of battery a lot faster, which would make sense because if it didn't, it would be really strong. The cameras, the cameras are like the worst part. You used to get 6 flashes, now you only get 3. You can't double stack your ammo anymore, so you could actually continuously grab more and more cameras and have like fucking 18% battery, and each percent is like a flash. So you just have so much fucking camera battery, and it was cool to just like 1v2 infected with it. I understand that that's like kind of like you're kind of putting your team at a disadvantage, but isn't that kind of like the point of team-based game? Like, isn't that kind of the point of like the gameplay? You know, like you get like, it's not a reward to take all the camera ammo because now your teammates are gonna die. But if you wanted to, you had the option, and I think that was really cool. And now that that's out of the game, it just kind of ruins the fun a little bit. If you wanted to be that solo innocent, fucking up the infected by yourself, I understand that, you know, it like, you shouldn't be able to do that. Like, it's team based, like. But I feel like I just don't like the restrictions. Because it's like, even if you were completely stacked with weaponry as an innocent, you're not going to win a 1v2. It's just not going to happen. Most of the times, you're still very at such a disadvantage. You know what I mean? So I felt like all these restrictions that are placed, like only being able to max out at 3 or 2 traps, max out at 150% or 100% camera battery, like, and not being able to get more to defend yourself with, I feel like that's just whack. I feel like it ruins the fun a little bit. But I understand it's team-based game. But it was still team-based back in the day. No one was out here gung-hoing with fucking 12% camera battery against 2 infected, because the infected would realize you could just transform out of your infected version and then just shoot the person down. You know what I mean? And even if you were able to gung-ho against like 2v1 and shit, I still think that was fine. I still think that was cool. Because it just made the game more fun. And I don't like how you can't shoot people at night anymore. I think that's a very bad change. You know what I mean? That's a bad change. I feel like you should be able to damage people at night. Not being able to see who you're by at nighttime as an innocent or as an infected who is in survivor form. I think that is a fine change, you know. I think that change is fine, but just the not being able to damage other people at night because you know, you could transform out a terror version and just like run around and be safe. No one can hurt you. Like I don't know. I kind of feel like that's stupid. But I had a better reason for it, but I kind of forgot. This video's off the top of my head. That's probably why it's this long. But yeah, as a veteran player, I just miss being able to gung-ho as an innocent. I thought it was fun. Even though it was a team-based game, it's always been a team-based game. Even when I was gung-hoing, like it's not like I won a lot. So, I don't know. I think that's it. I think that's all I gotta say. Oh yeah, one more fucking thing that I really dislike is how fucking much damage the infected take from guns. Like, there is no fucking reason all these terrors should be able to eat a full magazine of fucking pistol ammo. Like, what is the point of this fucking pistol? The fucking terrors die to lights now anyway, so, like, it's like the pistol is only useful when shooting terrors in survivor form, but, and I guess that's what they intended for, but man, it just sucks. It's like, when have pistols been a threat to terrors? When have they been a threat to terrors? I don't think they ever were, so what was the point of the change? You know what I mean? The shotgun. Does it even one-shot terrors close range anymore? Like, I don't think it does. I think that fucking makes the game a lot less enjoyable. I had cool clips from back in the day where I just sit there with the shotty and let Experiment or any other vampire but the Yeti, or any other terror but the Yeti, because, you know, the Yeti would always take 2 shots from the shotgun unless you got dangerously close. But with every other terror, I could pretty much just sit there with a shotty, let them get as close as possible, and pop them, one shot, drop them. And that was fun. That was so fun. And now I can't do that anymore. Like, I don't think the terrors... I don't think, like, all these changes were necessary. They just made the game unfun. And I think that's my complaint. I think that's what I'm sitting here complaining about. It's just how all these changes, like, sure, they made the game more team-based. And you can't steal items from other fucking innocents anymore. Like, why? Why was that change made? Like, just because people complained about it? That was a core part, bro. If fucking a terror unlocked the antidote before you get there, you want to have the antidote. You want to steal it from them to make sure. Because who can you trust at the very start of the game on round 1? You can't trust anybody. So, of course, you're going to fucking shoot the fucking targets that are locking the antidote. Because you want to have that antidote. Who are you going to trust? These random people? Why the one of them could be the terror, so you're just gonna sit there and let the terror take the fucking antidote? I don't think so. Steal it from them. Why did they change that in the fucking game? I thought that was a perfectly fine thing that made Deceit good. Like, it's just, I feel like the Deceit devs just listen to the complainers and the whiners. Wah, I got my shit stolen from me. Hit the target faster, dude. What are you doing? Like, of course someone stole your shit. They can't trust you with it. Like, what are you doing? Like, I just don't get why they made that change. I don't get it. But, and that's what this whole video's been about. I'm just complaining about a lot of changes that happened to the game that made it less fun and weren't required. I think them changing that fucking bullshit meta with 2 infected always drinking full on the first round, killing 2 people and forcing a 2v2. I thought that meta was fucking awful, and I'm glad they got rid of it with the new voting system and blood bag changes, but everything else seems fucking whack. And this video's already gone on long enough, but man, I have one last complaint. When you're exiting fucking areas now and going into the next round, why is it RNG? Who wants RNG in a game that is like I don't know if you could really call Deceit competitive. Like it has ranked mode, but it's more of a casual game. But it makes the game less competitive when you're adding randomness to it and RNG-ness to it, like adding exits all over the map and making it whichever exit you can go to RNG. Because now you can't sit by an exit and go into the next area. Now, like, that exit just might not open, and that could fuck you up in certain situations. So I'm not a fan of randomness. I'm not a fan of RNG. So yeah. Oh yeah, one more thing. Positive. All the optimization, like aiming down sight sensitivity, toggle crouch, all that good shit. I think the pistol's more accurate now too, both in hip fire and zooming in. So that's also good. Forgot to mention that. But yeah, this was just me unloading all my thoughts about how I feel about Deceit now. And I hope someone out there listened to me rambling for 20 minutes. But I just want to get this off my head. And yeah, yeah. I'm just interested in hearing everybody else's thoughts. So yeah.